everyone. We'll start our lecture for hematology with your RBC. So, you're ready to start? So, your RBC, okay? Syempre, this is the start of our blood. Okay, so
Recording in progress.
majority of our components of the blood is your RBC, and mostly, okay, your blood is composed of again your RBC, and the main function of your RBC is your um oxygen, okay, oxygen deliveration to your tissues, and okay, carrying nutrients all throughout your body. Check ko lang yun. Okay. So first is hematopoiesis. So this is a chart, okay, depicting how your hematopoiesis okay, ends up. So first is okay, we will talk about your primary hematopoietic tissues such as your bone marrow and thymus. So again, in your bone marrow, okay, you will generate your myeloid progenitor cells and your lymphoid progenitor cells. On your myeloid progenitor cells, this will give rise to your erythrocytes, okay, and your erythroid precursors such as your RBC precursors. Okay, then we have your granulocyte precursors that will give rise to your neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil. Okay, your NEM or all are this are your granulated WBCs. Then we do have your monocytes, okay, and precursor, and even your megakaryocyte or myeloid okay, progenitor cells. Then we go on your lymphoid, okay, giving rise to your okay, lymphocytes such as your T cell, B cell, and NK cells. So your B cell lineage will give rise to your okay, B cells, and later on your plasma cell that will promote or make your antibodies rather. Okay, then you do have your thymus, wherein your thymus is a secondary um, area for maturation of your T cells. Okay, so next is your secondary lymphoid tissue, wherein you will have your lymph nodes, okay, mucosal um, lymphoid tissue which is your mouth, and your spleen, wherein this three plays a major role in protection of your body, okay, nurturing your lymphoid cells. Okay, then the blood and cellular components of your blood. Okay. Again, the RBC, the neutrophil, lymphocyte, monocyte, eosinophil, and platelets, wherein we will talk about this, okay, the whole lecture. So this is a classic depiction of your hematopoiesis. So first is the long-term self-renewing stem cell, wherein okay, this will renew and renew on your life in your bone marrow. Then it will proceed in a short-term self-renewing stem cell, okay, with the help of your, okay, chemokines, okay, and other messenger cell chemicals such as your KIT ligand, okay, interleukin 136, okay, promoting your pluripotent okay, hematopoietic stem cell. Kaya siya pluripotent, okay, pluri, meaning madami pang pwede mag-arise na cell lineage from this type of cell. Okay? And with the help of other chemical messengers such as your yan, FTL3L, okay, KIT ligand, okay, your CSF or your granulocyte, monocyte, colony stimulating factor, okay, and your interleukin 1, 3, 6, and 11, you will okay, have your common myeloid progenitor. Okay? On the other hand naman, your same your FLT 3L, okay, and KIT ligand and IL-7 will give rise to your lymphoid progenitors. Okay. So ito na yung kaninang dinipik lang natin. Pero dito, you will just see okay, the chemical messengers that promotes the growth okay, and maturation of your other type of cells. Okay. until you have your mature cells, such as your neutrophil, macrophages, eosinophil, basophil, mast cells, okay, erythrocytes, platelet, and even your plasma T cell and your natural killer cells. So let's start on defining your hematopoiesis. So hematopoiesis is a regulated process of blood cell production, okay, differentiation, and development. So production, you will produce blood cells. Differentiation meaning the maturation, okay, or the the branching out of different type of cells from one cell type, and the development from an immature cell up to a mature type of cell. Then the hematopoietic system consists of the bone marrow, the liver, spleen, lymph node, and even the thymus. Okay, the primary organ of your hematopoietic system is your bone marrow in adults, but in a neonate or in a fetus, okay, it is a different story that later on we will talk about. Okay, it is a continuous regulated process of blood cell production that includes first cell renewal, okay, proliferation, differentiation, and maturation. So the cell renewal will deal with the okay, life lifelong process of providing new type of cells, the proliferation on how they will manage to produce number of your cells, and the differentiation wherein from one type of cell going to another type, and a cell maturation from an immature to mature one. So these are different types of hematopoiesis, or this is the classification. So first is your erythropoiesis, which deals with your RBC, your leukopoiesis with WBC, granulopoiesis with specific red your granulocyte, monopoiesis for monocyte, and megakaryopoiesis for your megakaryocyte or platelets. Okay, the lymphopoiesis deals with your lymphocytes, and the thrombopoiesis, which is for platelet and thrombocyte, which wherein this is interchangeably used for your megakaryopoiesis also. Okay, so your hematopoiesis occurs in two forms. So first is in fetal development and in postnatal development. So in fetal development, here you do have three phases. First phase is your mesoblastic phase, wherein this is also known as your yolk sac phase, that deals with the hematopoiesis inside, okay, the womb. Okay? Pag fetal development, lahat ito halos ay nangyayari sa loob pa ng uterus ng mother. Okay? Then the hepatic phase, wherein majority of your blood cells are produced in the liver. And on your medullary phase, this is the start of transitioning from your hepatic phase, okay, to your from the liver to your bone marrow. And then the postnatal development, okay, after okay, giving birth, okay, the organs involved now in the hematopoiesis is your bone marrow majority, liver as a secondary organ, spleen, lymph node, and thymus, okay, as a secondary lymphoid organ. So this is a site of hematopoiesis, a table showing where is the location, okay, and the age, and even the products produced by the hematopoiesis. First is in the embryo. So in the embryo, the location is in the aorta gonad mesonephros, okay, region, or your simply your yolk sac. Okay, and the produced cells in this one is your hematopoietic stem cells, okay, and the primitive erythroblast and fetal hemoglobins. Okay. On fetal age, you will utilize liver as the primary organ for your hematopoiesis, and other sites of hematopoiesis is also known, such as your spleen, kidney, thymus, lymph nodes, okay, and bone marrow. So dito nag-start na si bone marrow in the fetal, okay, or your mesoblastic. Okay, and then, sorry, and your hepatic phase. And then erythroblasts and granulocytes and monocytes are now produced by your organs. And the liver is the primary site. through the first trimester, so the first 3 months, liver ang responsible for the cell production. That's why non-hepatic phase ang tawag natin for this phase. And then the bone marrow becomes active around the fifth month of gestation. Next. And then after birth, or this is the postnatal, the bone marrow is now the primary site for hematopoiesis. Then you also know have some involvement of the secondary hematopoietic organs. So lahat na ng cells are produced in this um, age, and okay, the bone marrow again is the primary site, and babies and children have more red marrow activity, whereas in the adult, marrow has an approximately equal composition of red and yellow marrow. So later we will differentiate the red and yellow marrow. And thymus activity decreases after childhood, and even your thymus, okay, disappears as you age. First, on your fetal hematopoiesis, on mesoblastic phase, or on your yolk sac phase. So this is the 19th day of embryonic development after fertilization. Okay? Hematopoiesis takes place. So, kailan? Unang nagpo-produce ng blood cell ang bata or fetus, okay, on the 19th day after, okay, fertilization. So as early as 19 days, you produce your primitive cells. Okay? Then you do have your primitive erythrocytes produced within the 2 weeks of um of the gestation. Okay? And then erythroblasts are morphologically bigger than produced in postnatal life. Bakit? Kasi usually yung um, maturation is not fully developed. Okay? And the bone marrow is not the one that produces the cell. That's why, okay, the other organs still doesn't have the restriction as to um, as to the size of your cells. Okay? Di katulad ni bone marrow na nire-restrict niya since mas maliliit yung pores ng bone, unlike the other organs that produces your cells. Okay. Production of embryonic hemoglobin takes place. So, ito yung embryonic hemoglobin natin, your GOVER1. Okay. Your GOVER2 and Portland. So, this is composed of zeta. Okay. 2 chains of zeta and 2 chains of epsilon for GOVER1. For GOVER2, you do have 2 chains of alpha and zeta. Epsilon. And your port gland is theta and gamma. Okay. Primary responsible for red cell production, okay, is your yolk sac. And globin chains produced by primitive erythroblast includes, okay, your epsilon and theta, which are required for production of 3 embryonic types of hemoglobin. So ito nga yung tatlo na yun. And then here, okay, sa baba nakikita natin, as you can see here, this is the chart wherein depicts the hematopoiesis. Okay. So first is in the yolk sac phase. So sa yolk sac in the first 2 months, okay, transitioning into the third month, doon active ang yolk sac in producing your blood cells. Then, okay, in the liver as a secondary organ, active na yan in the first month, but will spike in the third month, okay, as the primary organ producing your blood cells. Then, on the fourth month or the fifth month, okay, nag-start na si bone marrow, okay, as the primary site for hematopoiesis, okay? Okay, until the birth, wherein, okay, nag-i-stop na or nagle-lessen na ang production ni liver and ng spleen, okay, of your blood cells. Then, on your birth, okay, the primary, okay, cells that produces your, sorry, the part that produces your cells are usually the vertebra, sternum, ribs, and even your femur and tibia. So, at birth, no, mas active on the flat bones than in the long bones. Okay, on your flat bones, yun yung mga composed ng sternum, ribs, skull, vertebra, but on the long run, okay, long bones ang mas okay, active on adult. Next, on your hepatic phase. Okay, by the second month, the liver is now the chief site for hematopoiesis. So dito na nag-start yung sa liver natin. Granulocytes and megakaryocytes begin to appear in the third month, and lipopoiesis starts at the fourth month. Your monopoiesis starts at the fifth month, and during this stage, hematopoiesis occur extravascularly. Okay, meaning hindi pa sila nanggagaling sa bone marrow. Okay? Spleen, kidney, thymus, and lymph nodes contribute to the process of your hematopoiesis. Kaya nga secondary organ for hematopoiesis itong mga ito. And your thymus is the first to develop first developed organ in the fetus, which is the major site of T cell production. Okay? And the B cell is in the kidney and spleen, and the spleen decreases the granulocytic production by removing the senescent cells. And the detected levels of hemoglobin are your fetal hemoglobin, okay, adult, and your adult 2 is now present. So, ano yung composition niyan? For your fetal hemoglobin, okay, it is composed of approximately 50 to 90% in your blood, and it is composed of two chains of alpha and gamma. For hemoglobin A, okay, it is composed of alpha, two chains, and your beta, which is two chains, approximately 10% to 40% of your blood. Then, your adult 2 or your A2 is composed of 2 alpha and 2 delta, okay, which is approximately less than 2%. Next is your medullary or myeloid phase. Now, dito na nag-take place, no, nakita nga natin dito, okay, napataas na yung sa bone marrow, which is now the chief site for hematopoiesis. And the medullary hematopoiesis occurs in the medulla or in the inner part of the bone marrow, and mesenchymal cells or your embryonic tissue migrates into the core of the bone and differentiate into skeletal and hematopoietic cells. So, as we all know, no, pagka-fetus pa, yung baby, hindi pa solid yung bone niya. Okay? Doon pa lang kasi mag-i-start when after birth, doon pa lang mag-i-start to mag-solidify yung kanyang skeletal system. Kaya nga, yung blood cells and bone cells are still, okay, coordinating with the body, okay, after birth. So, dito naman, ano yung mga hemoglobin na present natin? Okay, almost same with your hepatic phase. Next, on your postnatal hematopoiesis. So, pinanganak na yung bata. After birth, the bone marrow is made up of red marrow and constitute about 1.5% of the person's body weight. And the hematopoietic tissue is involved in the proliferation and maturation of your blood cells. Now, the bone marrow contains developing erythroid, myeloid, and megakaryocytic and even lymphoid cells. So, dito after birth na, dito na mas active sa bone marrow lahat ng processes of your cell development. And now, the hemoglobin components or contents of your blood is mainly hemoglobin A, which is composed of 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains, which is 90%. Then, you have your adult 2 or your A2, which is 2 alpha and 2 delta, approximately 1.5 to 3.5%. And you have traces of your fetal hemoglobin, which is around less than 2%. Okay, now we go to the organs involved in your hematopoiesis. First is the bone marrow, which is one of the largest organ in the body, and major function of the BM is the proliferation and production of cells. So you do have again your two types of marrow. You do have your red and yellow marrow. So for that one, this is found in your bone cavity. Okay? The red marrow, okay, as you can see here, kaya siya tinawag na red kasi nga this is the cell-producing part of your bone marrow. And the yellow marrow is just composed of fat. Okay. So dito mas active ang ating hematopoiesis. Kaya nga no, this is usually located at the long ends of your the long ends, the ends of your long bone. Okay. And the red marrow is the hematopoietically active one, and the red marrow is in adult is found in the okay, for flat bones and the long bones such as your sternum, skull, scapulae, vertebra, ribs, pelvic bone, and even your proximal end of the long bone. And this is composed of extravascular cord that contains all developing blood cell lineage cells and progenitor cells. So dito nga natin lahat na co-produce. Okay? And no, as we grow old, we we have the process of retrogression, aggression. Okay, and the retrogression, okay, your bone marrow or your red marrow, nung bata ka, no, halos lahat yan is composed of red marrow. But on retrogression, okay, your yellow marrow will replace the red marrow instead. Okay, and it produces red cell, platelet, neutrophil, basophil, and your eosinophil. Okay. For your yellow marrow naman, it is filled with fat, and this fat occupies reserves space and rapidly goes into solution and disappears in the blood's as the blood cells increase. Okay? This is known as also as your inactive marrow, kaya nga hindi siya nagagamit in hematopoiesis and composed of mostly adipocytes. Okay? Become active during 5 to 7 years of age, where they occupy the spaces in the long bone previously dominated by the bone marrow. Again, this is the process of your retrogression. Next organ, we do have your liver. Okay, this serves as the major site, okay, of blood cell production. Wherein, okay, during this time, the hepatic stage of hematopoiesis is around the second trimester. So sabi nga natin na nag-start sa around 4 to okay, 5 months doon. And capability of extramedullary hematopoietic production in cases of the bone marrow shuts down. So if ever that you have problem with your bone marrow producing cells, your liver can also function as organ to produce your blood cells. That is called your extramedullary. Okay? Medulla kasi meaning this is the bone marrow. Extra, the outside the bone marrow. Next, spleen. Okay, it is the largest lymphoid organ of the body, which function as an indiscriminate filter for the circulating blood. Okay? Again, your spleen removes your senescent RBC, okay, by two ways. Okay, by culling and pitting. Okay, by culling, okay, meaning it will phagocytize. Okay, pag pitting naman, it will remove your damage okay, RBC from this circulation. And it also synthesizes immunoglobulin in the germinal center, okay, and aids in the formation of lymphocytes and monocyte and serves as a reservoir for cell which can be delivered from the pulp into circulation. Okay, kaya if you remember, we do have three parts of your spleen, and approximately around 350 ml of blood is stored in your spleen, which can be later on utilized in cases of emergency. So we do have the three parts or the three regions of your spleen. You do have the white, the red, and the marginal zone. So for the white pulp, this is consist of scattered follicles with germinal center containing lymphocyte, macrophages, and dendritic cell. Kaya nga white, okay, this produces usually your white blood cells. Okay, and the red pulp naman, composed primarily of vascular sinusoids and sinuses separated. Okay, so that naman sa red pulp, mostly ang responsible for that is your um, red blood cell. Kaya nga siya tinawag na red pulp. Okay. On the marginal zone surrounding the white pulp and the forms a reticular meshwork containing blood vessel, macrophage, and even specialized B cell. Next organ. You do have your lymph nodes. So for your lymph nodes naman, they are members of lymphatic system located along lymphatic capillaries. Okay? So ayan yung tinatawag natin in Tagalog, hulane. Okay? Are bean shaped, okay, around approximately 1 to 5 millimeters in size, okay, and functions, okay, mainly in the formation of new lymphocyte in the germinal center and involves in the processing of specific immunoglobulin. It also involves in the filtration of particles, okay, specifically such as the debris and bacteria entering in the lymph nodes via lymph. So after the circulation, okay, your blood will return into the heart. Okay? Diba? Sabi nga natin, pupunta yung blood sa tissues, then papunta ulit sa heart. So pag siya pumunta sa heart, some of the bloods that contains your debris and bacteria will pass through your lymph lymph nodes. Okay? And your lymph node serves as a filter for that pur- for that purpose. Okay? So yeah. So next is the regions of your lymph nodes. So same as with your spleen, meron din siyang regions. Okay, first is the cortex, wherein this is the outer region, which contains usually follicles of B cell proliferation, termed as your germinal center. So kung si T cell ay napoproduce by thymus, your B cell are usually matures in your lymph nodes. Again, so pag si lymph nodes ang maturation site for your B cells. Okay? And the medulla, okay, where in this is the inner region, consists primarily of T lymphocytes and plasma cells. So si plasma cells now is your antibody producing cells. Kaya nga sabi natin kanina, your lymphocyte, lymph node plays a major role in immunoglobulin production because no, as the debris and other materials such as bacteria passes through your lymph nodes, okay, your plasma cells will produce antibody against them. Okay? And the cortex, region between the cortex and the medulla, contains predominantly T cells and numerous of macrophages. Next, the thymus originates from the endodermal and mesenchymal tissue populated initially by lymphocyte from the yolk sac and the liver. Okay? It is an efficient, well-developed organ at birth, consists of two lobules, each measuring around 0.5 to 2 centimeters in diameter. And this organ is responsible for conditioning your T lymphocyte or the maturation of your T lymphocyte. And no, this is located on your chest. Okay, usually at the back of your sternum. Okay, and as we age, okay, your thymus shrinks. And sometimes, no, some adults already have an absence of your thymus because nga, ang sabi natin, this is usually shrinks as we age. Okay, again, ito lang yung depiction kung saang organ involved, okay, on hematopoiesis. So again, on the first one, on your mesoblastic phase, your yolk sac is the one majority that produces your blood cells. Then on your hepatic phase, your liver is the one active in producing cells, and in the myeloid, okay, is your bone marrow. Next, we do have the blood cell production, mainly your red blood cells. Okay. So now we will talk about your erythropoiesis. Your erythropoiesis is the process by which your erythrocytes are produced, and normally 1% of red blood cells are destroyed every day. So that's the normal rate. More than that, you could have bleeding or destruction of your red blood cell that could lead to other complications. Okay? So yeah, 1% every day. And 1% is also replaced. Okay? So if ever that your red blood cell is not replaced in this rate, okay, you will have problems such as your bleeding. Okay, and your red cell develops in the bone marrow, and macrophages serves to supply the developing red cell with iron from your hemoglobin synthesis because your macrophages helps also in degrading your RBC and with the reuse of the components such as your iron. Okay. For the life cycle, okay, a normal erythrocyte is a non-nucleated, so wala siyang nucleus, slightly round cell, which originates from the bone marrow from a nucleated cell called rubriblast. Okay, pag sinabi natin blast, tandaan B stands for bata. Okay, B stands for bata. So yan yung pinakaunang cell type for RBC. Then reticulocytes are blood cells which retain the reticulum when stained with vital cells. Kaya nga retic. Okay, the reticulum. Okay, okay, and the vital stain is usually utilized as such as for living cells. Okay, example is your brilliant vessel blue. For your maturation, so we need your EPO. Your EPO is known as your erythropoietin. This is a hormone produced in the kidney in response to the tissue hypoxia. But usually, not only in hypoxia, okay, your kidney still produces erythropoietin in small amount to trigger normal blood cell production. And what is the specific action of your EPO? It usually induces committed progenitor cells in the bone marrow to differentiate and proliferate into pronormoblast. Okay? Shortens the generation time of your pronormoblast and promotes early release of reticulocyte in the peripheral blood. So again, unang-unang function ni EPO, it helps no in differentiation and proliferation of your red cells. Okay? So it also, okay, shortens, pinapaikli niya yung pagmamaturation ng inyong pronormoblast and it promotes, okay, pinapaaga niya yung release ng reticulocytes in the peripheral smear, in the peripheral blood in order for it to be utilized as RBC. Okay, kaya nga, usually, no, for example, in kidney patients, kidney dialysis patient, yung may mga CKD, usually, kailangan nila ng EPO kasi nga, since wala na yung kidney nila that produces your EPO, they would manifest with anemia. Because, okay, wala nga nagtitrigger ng production ng kanilang red cells. And they need, okay, extra extracellular, okay, source of your EPO, such as yung ini-inject natin. Okay. Elevated EPOs are observed in your erythroid hyperplasia, wherein this is increasing your RBC, and your polycythemia, which is also increase in RBC, hemoglobin, and hematocrit. Decrease naman si EPO usually in your anemia. Next, an erythron. This is a single functional entity composed of red cell and their precursor. And the substance needed in this erythron is iron, folic acid, manganese, zinc, vitamin C, E, and B6, and essential is your EPO and a healthy bone marrow. Bakit ilagay kong healthy? Kasi if your bone marrow is dysfunctional, you cannot produce RBC. Okay. So for the structure of erythrocyte, so again, this is your erythrocyte. The size is usually ranges from 6 to 8 micrometer and the average is 7. The thickness, okay, thickness is around 1.5 to 2.5 micrometer, average 2. And the volume is usually in 75 to 95 hectoliter, okay, average is 87. And the surface area is around 100 to 150 square micrometer. It has a central pallor, okay, which is one third of its diameter. This is the central pallor that's usually in the biconcave or discoid shape. So on both sides may ganito yan. Okay, and later on, this will um, enhouses your oxygen molecules. Kaya siya nucleated din because your oxygen needs to bind with this area. Okay. This is composed of around 60% of water and 40% solid. Okay. Hemoglobin, which is the iron-bearing protein, which serves as the most important agent of your erythrocyte. And it also composed of your red cell enzymes. The RBC membrane, such as composed with your lipids, okay, carbohydrates, and even proteins. And okay, your RBC membrane is the one also responsible for containing your antigens, such as found in the blood cell antigens. So this is the properties on the selected transmembrane of their RBC. Okay, so the proteins involved and the carbohydrates, such as your first is aquaporine, okay, which is function for your water transporter and Colton antigen. Next is your bantry, which is for anion exchange, your calcium ATPs for calcium transporter during your energy metabolism. And then in your Duffy, this is a G protein coupled receptor, chemokine receptor, but also known as your Duffy antigen. So ito yung mga blood groups na natin. Okay, that is found in your membrane of your RBC. And a Duffy negative person cannot manifest or cannot be infected with malaria. Okay? So kaya malarial resistant ang mga Duffy negative kasi your Duffy is the one responsible for infection of malaria. And then you have your GLUT1, which is your glucose transporter 1, which is for ABH blood group. And your aquaporin A, B, and C. Okay, this is a sialic acid transporter. Okay, that is responsible for MLM blood groups, S blood group, and even your herbage. Okay, and your ICAM, which is an intergreen adhesion, and your other transporter of electrolytes, such as your calcium and chloride co-transporter, your KEL blood group, okay, your KID, and other blood groups, such as your RH and your electrolytes. So yeah, this is a picture of your RBC membrane. So ayan yung mga components nila. And okay, on the membrane, naka-attach yung yan, yung mga blood groups natin, okay, your GPA, your KEL Duffy, and the others are responsible for the integrity of your RBC. So for the cytoskeletal, RBC proteins, so this is one responsible for your integrity of the RBC membrane. So ayan, alpha-spectrin, beta-spectrin, adenosine, adenine, dermatan, beta-actin, okay, protein 4.1, okay, 4.2. So ito yung mga important, which anchors the actin, okay, and the ankyrin complex, which is responsible for ATP binding protein. Then your ankyrin, okay, anchors your band 3, protein 4.2, and usually, pagka you do have problems with ankyrin, your protein 4.1, 4.2, you would manifest usually defects in your RBC membrane, such as your sickle cells, okay, and other types. So, ayan. So, function of your red cells to mediate exchange of respiratory gases, your oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and the tissue. So, mauuna muna kay lungs, coming from the heart, okay, going to your lungs to pick up oxygen. Then, going to your tissues, okay, releasing your oxygen, picking up your carbon dioxide, kaya ang exchange. And to control your blood pH, to assist the maintenance of acid-base equilibrium. And okay, on the blood pH, no, dito pumapasok yan for your carbon dioxide. Okay? Next, composition. Again, this is composed of 40% lipid, 52% protein, and 8% carbohydrate. And usually, the 8% carbohydrate, ito yung responsible for your blood groups. Okay? Okay. Let's go now to the maturation of your erythrocytes. For the maturation of erythrocytes, first is your rubriblast. Sabi nga natin kanina, B for bata, most immature form of your RBC. And the size usually is around 12 to 20 micrometer. So, for your RBC, okay, malaki siya, papaliit as it matures. Okay, the NC ratio or the nucleus cytoplasm ratio, a large nucleus relatively to your cytoplasm. As you can see here in the picture, okay, malaki yung nucleus nung cell. And the cytoplasm just occupy small portion of it. Kaya we do have a high NC ratio, which is 8 is to 1. Okay, the nucleus is usually round without folds or lobules. And cytoplasm is intense blue and non-granular. Chromatin. The chromatin is fine, delicate purple-red in color. So, ito yung mga chromatin niya. Yan. Yung mga dark spots on your or dark shades on your nucleus. And the nuclei is usually 1 to 2. Hindi pala to. And the percent in the bone marrow, usually 1% ito sa bone marrow. And usually it takes 24 hours for it to mature. And it will divide into two with the utilization of your mitosis. Next, pro-rubricide. When we see pro, okay, pro meaning before. Okay, before your rubricide. So ito yung key in memorizing your progenitors. Okay, pagka may pro, before that cell. Okay, pag may blast, usually nauuna yan. Blast before the pro, okay, before the cell, and before the meta, and before the mature cell. Okay, size is usually 10 to 15 micrometer. So, kita nga natin kanina, no? 20 micrometer pa siya, 12 to 20. Ngayon, mas lumaki. Sabi nga natin, malaki, papaliit. And the NC ratio is around 6 is to 1. So, mas malaki na yung konti yung cytoplasm natin kaysa sa kanina. And the cytoplasm is usually blue cytoplasm with lighter areas surrounding your nucleus. Yan. You may have some evidence of cytoplasmic pinking due to your hemoglobin production. So in this part, you do have production of your hemoglobin, no? Starting na tayo. And more thickened nucleus, nuclear chromatin. So mas mapapansin nyo na dyan yung darker areas in your nucleus, which is your chromatin. And the nucleoli usually is 0 to 1. In the bone marrow, this is around 10 to 15% in circulation, and it takes again 24 hours, okay, in maturation. And it will divide into four daughter cells with the use of your mitosis. Okay, so meron na tayong 48 hours to produce a rubricide. Next, your rubricide, which is also known as the dawn of your hemoglobinization. Okay, dito na nag-i-start yung production talaga natin ng majority of your hemoglobin. Okay, the size is 10 to 12 micrometer, so mas maliit compared to your prorubricide. And the nuclear cytoplasm ratio is 4 is to 1. So mas maliit na yung nucleus. Okay, at medyo malaki na yung ino-occupy ng ating cytoplasm. So sa cytoplasm, we do have chromatophilic cytoplasm. So when we say polychromatophilic, it has various variation in color. So as you can see, merong light color, merong pinkish area, which denotes your production of hemoglobin, and the bluish area. Okay. Condensed clear chromatin. So ayan na. So kita natin mas darkly pigmented na yung chromatin niya. Okay? And the nucleoli, wala ng nucleoli. Okay? And the circulation is around 10 to 20 in your bone marrow. It takes around 30 hours, okay, in the bone marrow for it to mature. So 48 plus 30 is 78 na para makarating tayo sa rubricide. And this is the last stage of your mitosis also. Okay? So yun na yung last stage. Next is meta-rubricide. So meta, after. Tandaan, meta meanings after. Matapos, meta. Okay? Size is around 8 to 10 micrometer. The nuclear cytoplasm ratio now is 1 is to 2. So mas malaki na yung cytoplasm kaysa sa nucleus. Okay? And the nucleus is dense, homogeneous, and nuclear characteristic known as pyknotic. Ayan, as you can see, no, iisa na lang yung color niya. And okay, the chromatin is very dense, sobrang dark na nung itsura. So sa cytoplasm naman, we do have pink to orange cytoplasm, a active production of your hemoglobin. And in the bone marrow, usually this circulates at around 5 to 10%. And the transition time, 48 hours. So meron ulit tayong 48 to 78 na tayo kanina, plus 48, meron na tayong 126 hours to produce your meta-rubricide. And the division, hindi na siya nagde-divide. Last na division natin ay kay rubricide. So it just will not divide anymore. Next is your retics or reticulocyte, okay, which is a diffusely basophilic erythrocyte. So bluish in color. Okay, may pagka-blue. And the size is around 8 to 10 micrometer. Mas malaki pa rin siya sa normal or mature RBC natin. Wala na siyang nucleus cytoplasm ratio because absent na ang nucleus natin dito. Nag-disintegrate na siya. Okay? Cytoplasm is slightly bluish in color because of your DNA material pa rin content. Kaya nga we could stain this with your supravital stain. And the chromatin, wala na tayong chromatin kasi nga the chromatin is contained in your nucleus. And kung wala ka ng nucleus, wala ka na ding chromatin and nucleoli. In the bone marrow, usually this is present around 5 to 1.5% in circulation. In neonates, mas mataas yung level niya. Bakit? Because in neonates natin, they are actively forming your blood cells. Okay? And the transition time in your bone marrow takes 24 hours or 1 day. Okay? Kung meron na tayo kaninang 126 plus 24 hours, 150 days. And usually it takes around, okay, 1 to 3 days in your bone marrow, in your peripheral smear. Okay? Then the division, hindi na siya nagde-divide. So para makarating ka ng reticulocyte, usually it takes around 6.5 days. Isa't kalahating araw. Isa't kalahating, 6.5 araw para makapag-produce ka ng reticulocyte. Around 7 days before you can reach your erythrocyte. And usually the diameter is 6 to 8 micrometer ulit and the thickness is 1.5 to 2.5. Again, walang nucleus kaya no NC ratio and nucleus. And cytoplasm is now biconcave. Kaya na you can see your central pallor. It has a salmon pink or red color. And the transition time in the bone marrow, wala na. You see this now in your peripheral blood, which is around 120 days. Okay, approximately. Now, for some books, it says 90 days, pero we just average it with 120 days. Okay, 92, 120 days. Okay? So, before ka makarating dito, you need 7 days, around 7 days bago ka magkaroon ng mature red cells. Kaya nga, ang destruction lang natin ng red cells in the peripheral blood is usually 1% every day. Okay. So, this is now the nomenclature. So, the naming as a different nomenclature for your RBC. For normoblastic nomenclature, you could have the normoblast. Okay? Pronormoblast, again, pro before the normoblast. Next is basophilic normoblast. Bakit nagiging basophilic pa siya dito? Because it still contain your DNA material or your chromatin. Then, nagkakaroon ng polychromatic. Okay, normoblast because dito na nag-i-start yung production natin ng hemoglobin. Okay, orthochromic normoblast. Okay, and then polychromatic erythrocyte, which is your reticulocyte. Then you have now the mature erythrocyte. Sa dulo nitong lahat ng nomenclature, pare-parehong erythrocyte. For the rubriblast naman, rubriblast, prorubrycyte, meta. Again, pag may meta tayo, after. Okay? Then, same, this is your repeats your polychromatic erythrocyte. And the erythroblastic naman, almost same with your normoblastic. Nakalagay lang, eryth. Okay? Okay, so again, it is again, from malaking cell, from the pronormoblast into mature RBC, papaliit. Okay, the cell decreases, the cytoplasm ratio increases, the nuclear size decreases as it disappears, and the cytoplasmic staining changes from blue to pinkish red. And the chromatin pattern matures and disappears with your nucleus. Okay. So this is the summary of your sizes, okay, the NC ratio, nucleoli, the percent in bone marrow, and the transition time in your bone marrow. So nag-produce na tayo. No, let's talk about now in the destruction. So as the red cell ages, changes occur that makes it susceptible to destruction. Okay, so again, pwede magkaroon ng alteration in the membrane integrity that takes place usually during blood circulation. So, hindi naman habang buhay ay buhay yung RBC natin because dumadaan yan sa maliliit na blood vessel and that could cause changes into its membrane and loss of sialic acid, lipids, and decreased ATP and increased calcium has been implicated in the aging process. So usually ito yung may nakikita nating changes when our RBC needs to be changed or as it ages. Okay? Approximately at 120 days, the erythrocytes are recognized as abnormal and rare are usually removed by phagocytic cell in your RES. Okay? As your cell age, it depleted your glucose and the surface area are usually decreased. And the screen recognizes abnormalities in the cell and sequesters it for removal. So again, pagka usually naka-reach na ng around 90 to 120 days yung red cell natin and it has deformities in its components, usually nire-remove na siya ng spleen. Okay? And yan, ito yung ating formation and circulation in a summary. Okay? So, from the bone marrow, okay, and in the circulation. Okay? So, magde-destruction naman, mauuna, si red cell, kinain or na-phagocytize ni macrophage because of its age and defects. Now, your macrophage will degrade it into its components, such as your globin, which is the protein component, and the heme. So your heme will be degraded into its component with PD13 and iron. So si iron later on will be again utilized for the production of your red cell. Okay? Same as with your globin. Then your biliverdin will be converted into bilirubin. Okay? Then the bilirubin will consist or be filtered out by your liver. Okay? With the help of transferrin, your iron will be transferred into your liver. Okay? And with the help of your liver, it will be converted into ferritin as a store. Okay, later on, this ferritin will be utilized as a source of iron. Okay, transferring by the transferrin to your bone marrow that will be again incorporated later on in your red cell production. So your bilirubin naman will be removed in the circulation in the body by okay, transisting it into your small intestine via bile duct. Okay, and your intestine will degrade your bilirubin. Okay, by bacteria in your intestines into urobilinogen. And your urobilinogen will be transformed into two forms in your urobilin and your stercobilin. For your urobilin, this is found in your urine. Okay, and your stercobilin is found in your feces. So yan yung destruction and production of our red cell. Okay. Next is mechanism of red cell destruction. So for the mechanism of red cell destruction, first is fragmentation. So loss of portion of your erythrocyte membrane usually accompanied by loss of cellular contents, including your hemoglobin. Nagpa-fragment, okay, nasisira, nagkakawatak-watak. Okay, next is your osmotic lysis, passing of water into the red cell as it ultimately bursts. So pumuputok due to its osmotic okay, imbalance. Masyado siyang nagtitake up ng mas madaming water kaysa sa kailangan. Then, it could be also destroyed by erythrophagocytosis. Ito yung in-explain natin kanina. With the ingestion of the whole red cell by circulating monocyte or neutrophil or by fixed macrophages of the mononuclear phagocyte system. Then, with the complement-induced cytolysis, then could destroy your RBC by complement. Okay, wherein it has the ability to attach itself to the cell and induce lysis of your RBC. And lastly, you have your hemoglobin denaturation, wherein your hemoglobin is exposed to oxidant stress and mechanism to protect the cell from such damage fails to work Denatured hemoglobin precipitates forming inclusion bodies such as your Heinz bodies. Kaya your Heinz bodies is usually um, a hallmark of aging or disintegration of your red cells. So we do have types of destruction of your RBC. First is intravascular hemolysis. So for intravascular hemolysis, usually the lysis of erythrocyte, which occurs within the circulation through the classical pathway, okay, sa loob ng katawan. Okay, it is the usually outcome of sensitization of your RBC with complement. So usually naglalays via complement pathway. And 10% of each red cell undergoes destruction. Saan nangyayari yung destruction na to? Usually in your spleen. And red blood cell breaks down in the circulation approximately again 1% every day. And pre-hemoglobin binds to haptoglobin oxidized to methemoglobin. So ayan yung mga usual pathway ng hemoglobin natin. And the heme is recovered from your haptoglobin, albumin or hemopexin, wherein it will form later on your methemoglobin. And your bilirubin conjugated by hepatocyte, then excreted as urobilinogen and urobilin. So ito yung in-explain natin kanina doon sa picture. Okay, so what are the causes of your intravascular hemolysis? Okay, it can be caused by APO cross mismatch, okay, blood transfusion, cold agglutinin antibodies, your PCH or paroxysmal cold hemoglobinuria, burns, could cause also intravascular hemolysis. So dito sa unang tatlo, usually this is mediated by antibody production. So nagkakaroon ng complementary destruction or hemolysis. Pag burns naman, usually the destruction of your blood vessel causes also the destruction of your red cell. For the snake bites, right, it will cause your cells to burst, okay, due to the toxins, such as in with your bacterial infections such as your Clostridium perfringens, wherein it will also burst your cell. For parasitic infection, for your plasmodium during the maturation of your parasite, okay, the cell will lyse, eventually releasing your parasite into your bloodstream. Your mechanical heart valves, so this is a mechanical one. Okay, it has a hard surface, and normally your RBC is very fragile on hard surfaces, causing okay, interna o intravascular hemolysis also. Masisira siya kasi matigas yung mechanical heart valves. And your paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, which is also a antibody production. Next is your extravascular hemolysis. Lysis of erythrocyte outside the circulation. So ito naman yung labas. Okay? In the areas of your cells, liver, and even your spleen. So this usually happens through phagocytosis, and approximately 90% of each cells are destroyed. Okay? Specifically, who reaches around 90 to 120 days, and those with defects. So your reticuloendothelial system or your RES phagocytized your RBCs. Then your RBC membrane is disrupted. Okay, lysosomal digestion of hemoglobin occurs. Ito yung kanina sa picture na macrophage. Okay, recovered iron will be transported into the bone marrow with the help of your liver. And your protoporphyrin metabolized to bilirubin conjugated and excreted via urobilin and stercobilin. So what are the causes of your extravascular hemolysis? Usually, is due to bacterial or viral infection, drug-induced autoimmune, your microangiopathy, usually in the malignancy, DIC, PTP, eclampsia. Okay, hemoglobinopathies could also cause extravascular hemolysis due to their membrane defects. gain membrane defects such as your spherocytosis, elliptocytosis, acanthosis could be cause of extravascular hemolysis because of this their abnormal shape, and metabolic defects such as your G6PD and oxidant drugs due to exposure to their um, materials. Okay, the so before we proceed to hemoglobin, let's take a break of around 10 minutes. Is that okay?